Hello everyone. This is Sue here from Sue's Paper Creations, and I am hopping on live with a little extra special treat for you today. I know this is kind of all of a sudden, but I am getting ready to mail off some happy mail, and I have a couple items that I have to mail that do not fit into your regular standard size A2 envelope. So I thought, well, I am creating some custom envelopes to fit these little gifts of people who have won my little comment prizes, and those who had shared and tagged a friend. I did some draws and I'm giving away some presents. So I have a few of those items here that I still have to mail. And they are, of course, some awkward sizes that aren't going to fit inside my regular envelopes. So I am going to create a couple really quick envelopes using some amazing papers that we all have in our craft room. And I'm going to show you how you can have a little recipe to make the perfect envelope to mail off your little gift or oversized card. Okay, so thank you if you happen to be stopping in. If you happen to check out the replay, this might be something that might be handy for you to have in your little notes for your craft room. Okay, I see a couple people that are hopping on. We've got Christine. Hello, Christine. I'm glad you could join me. If you're here, let me know where you're coming from, where you're watching from. If you are new to my page, I am coming to you live from Victoria, BC. And I just have a little tip for you guys. Okay. All right. Hello, Donna. So I am going to get to creating today, and I am going to show you. Let's get to my craft area there. There we go. I am going to show you. Hello, Pam. I'm going to show you how to make the perfect envelope. Okay. So if you do not have the right size, all you need is a few tools and you can create the perfect size for a larger size card or a little gift. Like I'm going to share some masking paper for a couple people that draw my that happened to win some masking paper when I did my masking little tutorial. And I have got a set of decorative masks that Judy, you had won these, so I'm going to be mailing them out to you. So you got to act surprised because I'm going to have a pretty nice little envelope that these are going into. Okay, so I'm going to make it pretty because everybody loves pretty mail, right? Okay, so the items you are going to need handy for making a envelope from scratch is you want something to score and cut. You want to have a very strong adhesive. Hello, Sue. And this time I'm using my tear tape. If you happen to still have some, let's see here, what have we had in the past? Some of that red special sticky strip, or if you have the Snail Plus, that will work as well. I'm going to use the tear tape that we've got. And then I have got a pair of scissors ready to go. And you're going to need some, of course, beautiful papers that you have in your stash. Okay, so I'm going to start with one that I'm going to use for a size 5 by 7 little flat gift that I'm going to be giving out. So this is going to someone special who won, again, my little comment award here, and I have got a few sheets of masking paper that I'm going to be mailing out, and I want to make it pretty. So I'm going to take a piece of 12 by 12 and I'm going to cut it down with this recipe in mind. Okay, are you ready? It's as easy as this. So I have got a piece of flat item. So it could be a card that's 5 by 7, or it could be a card that is, say, 4.5 by 4.5. Whatever your measurement is for the item that you're going to mail, This is the recipe, okay? So for a 5 by 7, I am going to take the 5, which is my width, and I am going to times it by 2, which is 10, and I'm going to add 2 inches, okay? So that is going to tell me how wide I need my piece of paper, okay? I have got a 12-inch piece, so that is perfect. Now the height that I have got here is 7 inches, and I'm going to add 3 inches to that to make it 10, okay? So therefore, the size of paper that I need to start with is going to be 12 by 10, okay? You see how I got that? We're doing a little math today. Easy math, okay? So twice your width plus 2 inches, and then take your height and add 3 inches, okay? So I'm going to take my piece of paper. I'm going to cut it down to that 12 by 10, okay? So let's do that. All right. So we're going to cut it down to 10 on this side. And then I already have a width that is 12 inches. So this is perfect. Okay. So once you've got your size piece that you need to start with, then what you're going to do is, I want this to be the outside of my beautiful envelope. So I am going to turn it the other direction. Let's see here. We got Judy. Judy, I just happen to be mailing something out to you. So you're going to have to act surprised to see the beautiful envelope. Okay. All right. So I am going to turn this upside down because I am going to score. Let me see here. Score. Yeah, I want it upside. Sorry, face up. And I'm going to score this so that I can wrap it around this beautiful piece of paper, okay, around my present. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to start. This is my height. I'm going to start by turning it so that the height of the envelope is going to be going across the top, okay? So for me, I'm going to keep referring to this, okay? My height is 7 inches. I cut my piece of paper at 10, right? Because I added those 3 inches. So my first score line, I always want to score 1 inch from the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm going to score 1 inch from the bottom, just like that. Then I'm going to take my item that I'm going to be putting in the envelope, and I'm going to keep it above that score line, and I'm going to just run it this direction, and I'm going to have a look and see if I close where I'm going to be scoring here, my guideline. I want to make sure that this gift is within that amount of space, and I want to give it a little wiggle room, right? So I'm going to go for, I've got 1 inch down at the bottom. I'm going to go for 1.5 inches at the top. That's going to give a 1/2 inch for wiggle room for my little gift within the envelope. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and score. Okay, all right. So you can see now that the height is going to be perfect. There's going to be a little bit of wiggle room, top and bottom. Okay, and we're going to have a nice fold for the top, and this is going to seal it at the bottom. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is exciting, we're going to take our piece of paper, the width-wise, and I'm going to start by scoring it. Let's see here. I'm going to score it at about 3 inches. So I want to have a little bit more on one side than the other. So again, you want to kind of have a look at the piece that you're going to be putting in the envelope. And I want to put it off to one side slightly because I'm going to be overlapping a piece of paper. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score at, let's see here, we're going to go for this one 3.5. Okay, then again, always keeping my piece handy that's going in here. Then I can look on this side and I can make sure that I've got this within the score line. We want a little bit of wiggle room, and I'm going to go over this side and I'm going to go about a 1/4 inch past that. So you're going to end up having a 1/4 inch on both sides. Okay, so I don't worry too much about exact measurements. I just make sure that I'm working within the piece that's going inside my envelope, because that's always changing, right? And I'm making sure that there is a 1/4 inch top and bottom and a 1/4 inch on each side. All right, so now we've got all of our score lines, and we're going to make our envelope. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my bone folder, and once you have figured out your measurements of your size of paper using that recipe, okay, and I will actually put the recipe in the description so you guys have it, and once you have worked around your piece that goes inside with your 1/4 inches, all you're going to do is you're going to start using your bone folder, and you're going to make some nice crisp folds. Okay, now I will use this recipe when I'm doing slimline cards as well, and I can just make gorgeous slimline cards, and then I can make envelopes that coordinate with whatever designer series paper that I have used for the actual card, and it is quite pretty. Okay, so I have got everything that is nice and scored. I'm going to start by putting the bottom of this envelope together. Okay, so we're going to cut away this panel, and we're going to cut away this panel, and we're going to cut away these 2 panels eventually. So I'm just going to, for visual, I'm going to do some little lines here. This is what I'm cutting away. Okay, I'm going to keep the center panel. So I'm going to cut, and I like to do a little bit of a wedge here. So you can see I'm just making this kind of a nice shimmied little tab for the bottom of the envelope. And then I'm going to cut this section out. Okay, so there's one side. I'm going to do the same on the other. Okay, now have any of you out there tried making custom envelopes before? Anyone? Because if you haven't, I think you're going to find this quite helpful, especially for those larger cards that you need a certain type of size envelope and it's not standard. So you're going to be able to use, because we always end up with lots of beautiful pieces of 12 by 12 that we haven't cut up or made into cards. I can do the same on the top here. Okay, and so this gives you the opportunity to use those to create something beautiful. Okay, so we're going to cut the same on the top. So you're cutting those side tabs, just like that. Okay, okay, so we are ready to go. So now, remember we had one side that was slightly wider than the other when we did our scoring. I'm going to get out my tear tape, and I am going to place this on the shorter side, okay, because we're going to overlap. Let's peel this, and we're going to overlap, okay, and oh, perfect. This is a super simple one for sure. So this is, I mean, this is my go-to. And whenever I am, and often if I'm giving away prizes of embellishments, they won't fit in your standard envelope, or if I make an extra large card so that I have more people that space for people to sign it, or a slimline card, this is definitely how I make my envelopes. Okay, so I've sealed up this seam here. Now I'm going across the bottom and I'm tucking it in. Okay, so you can see we now have got an envelope. Because we gave that little bit of space as we did our scoring, we kept this handy. This should fit in here absolutely perfect, just like that. We can then seal it off, okay, and then you can decorate up the front of it. Okay, so I am going to, for this envelope, because of course it coordinates with all of our beautiful papers and all of our beautiful cardstock, I am going to bring in some little daisies that I happen to have left over from a class, and I'm going to pop these onto my label. So this is going to end up being the most adorable little label for a beautiful envelope. Okay, I mean, you don't have to go the extra distance to decorate up your label, but if you want to, and you happen to have pieces that will coordinate, or you want to maybe stamp a little something, stamp some flowers in the background, then you can glue this on here. And this is going to be the most beautiful envelope that they've received a fancy card in, or a nice flat gift, just like that. There you have it. Okay, you're going to seal that up. You can put your little return address up there, and then you can also write it. Now, the best part is the reaction that you get when you take these into the actual post office. I love it because I hand them all of these envelopes and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. So you know already the person that's going to receive these is going to love getting their little present in these flat envelopes. If you're making something that you need an envelope for something a little bit wider or a little bit thicker, you just want to make sure, let's see if I can give a little, something a little bit thicker. What you're going to need to do is you're just going to have to give that little bit extra room, wiggle room, when you go to make your width so that you can accommodate that thickness. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you if you have something that is slightly wider and you need say perhaps a 6x6, Judy, 6x6 present that will be mailed out. What I'm going to show you is what you can do for this one. Okay, so if I were to use just my standard size recipe, this is 6 inches wide, right? So remember, I've got a couple ways I can do this. So this is 6x6. So I would need to do 6x2 is 12, right? And then add 2, and that is 14 inches. And I don't have that in this piece of paper, right? Then same with the top here, I would be okay because I would be trimming it this way. So you could either take 2 pieces and seam them together and have, you know, kind of a seam, extra seam in there by making it wider. Or if it's going to work, I did something a little different this time. Okay, what I did was I put it on an angle, and if it is not wider, you know, if it were to tuck over like this, if it's bigger that it tucks over and does not fit in the center, then it's not going to work. But if it fits in the center, then you are good to go. And what you can do is you can wrap it. Okay, so this is another way you can do it. You can wrap it up. Okay, and then you can wrap it down. And you can see how I'm placing this a little bit more towards this upper tip than the bottom, because I want this to be a bigger fold. Okay, and again, I'm eyeballing it, but I have my piece in the center, so I know that it's going to be big enough. Okay, so these are just fun ways you can wrap up flat gifts. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck that down. So I'm starting just like I did with this one. I'm starting with my height, okay? So I'm making sure that I have enough room top and bottom for this gift. It's gonna wrap just like that. It's gonna be perfect, okay? Then I'm gonna take my gift out. I'm gonna bring in my scoring tool again. And I'm going to keep in mind, always keep in mind something that you're going to be wrapping. And I'm going to add that 1/4 of an inch from where my gift is. I'm going to move it out of the way and I'm going to score. Okay, see that? Perfect. Then I'm going to push it the other way, keeping it a 1/4 of an inch from that first score line, and I'm going to bring it over to the other. I mean, if you've got the gift right here, you might as well make it right custom to what you're going to be mailing, right? Okay. So for this one, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to open this back up and I'm going to take my score lines and I'm going to tuck them in. Okay, so there's 1, and I'm going to tuck it in this way. 2. Okay, does that make a cute little envelope? Now I need to seal it up, so I want to make sure that I'm going to be putting some adhesive just on this piece right here. And again, I'm going to get out my tear tape because that is nice and sturdy, and this envelope's not going to fall apart. We don't want it to fall apart before it gets to the person that's getting this special little gift. Okay, Judy, you do not want an envelope that falls apart, right? There we go. So I have sealed that one there. Then I can take this piece, and again, I can add a little bit of sealing here, like this. That was a perfect size piece. Love it when that happens. Okay, and I'm going to seal it up. Okay, now I have got this fun envelope, and I can tuck this in here like this. It's going to go all the way in. It's going to fit in there just perfect. And then I can take and I can fold this over. Okay, and I can seal this up. Now you've got a couple ways that you can finish this off. You can put just a normal label on there, or if you have some extra large dies, which I have extra ones from Card Club. Okay, so you can take that and you can put that over top and make it more like a seal on the front there. You can do your address and you can put it on here, or you can just seal this one up and you can add it to the front like so. Okay, so those are just some fun ways in which you can create custom envelopes to wrap up those flat, smaller presents. And if you were to need to, if you had something larger, you could definitely get away, as long as it wasn't too tall, right? As long as it wasn't taller than, let's see here, 9 inches high, you could get away with using 2 pieces of pattern paper wide, and you could still wrap it perfectly using this recipe. Okay, so there we have it. So I have got some beautiful mail that's going to be going in the mail tomorrow for some special people. And now you guys will know how to wrap up those larger cards, or if you need a custom size that isn't just your average A2, you can use up your beautiful pieces of paper and you can create your own envelopes. Okay, and people are going to love it. Now, while I have you here, I'm going to just let you know what I've got going on coming up, because I have got some other tutorials that I'm going to be doing. Hello. So I've got other tutorials that I'm going to be doing coming up. This week is going to be busy, and I'm going to be creating some fun stuff that I'm going to share with you. Tomorrow morning is Thursday morning, and we know what happens at very early in the morning here on the West Coast. We get up and craft. Remember? Or at least I do in this craft room. I am going to be bringing you 5-minute quick and easy cards tomorrow morning. 6:30 a.m. If you want to join me live, you can. Then on Friday, I have got my last bonus tutorial, because the month of September, I have been wanting to do some extra things for all of you. So on Friday at 3 p.m., I am going to bring you another technique in which you can do something special with your embossing folders. So last month we did some gorgeous stuff with watercolor, and then we did that beautiful tarnished distressed tile backdrop for one of our Christmas cards. So I'm going to bring you another special technique that you can use your embossing folders for, so you can get more uses out of those gorgeous embossing folders, okay? So you can tune in for that Friday at 3 p.m. And these are all Pacific Standard Time, okay? Sunday is a special Zoom class. Okay, and it is going to be doing, I've got a little 12 by 12 special. So for any one of you who would like to join me, and actually we can actually see each other and chat. I mean, I love seeing all your comments, but I would love to actually be able to connect with you a little bit more. So if you would like to join me for a live Zoom, all you have to do is private message me and let me know that you would like to join in on, it's going to be on Sunday, so the 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am going to be doing a Zoom class, and all that you need is a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper. And I think we probably, all of us crafters have those, right? So you can let me know and just send me a little private message and I will add you to that Zoom list. I am going to be starting to send out that Zoom link to those who've already said they want to join me. I'm going to be sending that out this evening so that you can tag that and you can hop on with me for the Zoom class on Sunday at 1. Okay, so I hope to see many of you there. As for my team and some fellow team members across Canada, I will be getting ready for, we have a special event on Saturday, the SSS event. So I'm going to start creating my special project to share with all of you. I'm going to do that tomorrow, and I will probably do a live on that at some point next week so that everyone can enjoy that special project. Okay. All right. So anyways, that is all the tips I have for you today. I hope those will come in handy for those oversized cards and flat gifts. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 in the morning. And we are going to do those quick and easy 5-minute cards. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.